All right, let's talk about India's relationship with the global economy, because it's changing, and it's changing fast. Today, we're doing a high-level briefing on the new strategy that's making our entire economy more resilient. We're going to look at the powerful engines driving this shift and, just as importantly, the key policy decisions that are making it all happen. So, for any economic planner, really for any policymaker, it all boils down to one question. Is our position on the world stage right now a strength or is it a weakness? Let's just cut straight to the chase and see what the data tells us. The big headline here, the main story, is stability. Just focus your eyes on that red dotted line. That's our current account balance. You can think of it as our country's profit and loss statement with the rest of the world. And as you can clearly see, that line is moving pretty decisively up towards zero. This means the gap between what India earns from the world and what it spends is closing. And that's not just a good sign. It's a fundamental shift toward real, durable economic resilience. Okay, so to really understand how we got to this point, we're going to walk through this briefing in 5 parts. We'll start with a quick snapshot, then dive into the powerhouse of our services sector, examine our new trade strategies, analyze the changing flow of remittances, and finally wrap it all up with the key policy takeaways. So, let's start with that picture of stability. We've seen the trend, now let's anchor it with a hard number. The crucial thing to grasp here is just the sheer scale of this improvement. A 40.7% reduction in our current account deficit, and that's just in the first half of the fiscal year. That is huge. It's not some minor adjustment, it's a substantial strengthening of our external finances. So the big question is, what's behind this? What's driving it? Well, the first, and you could argue the most powerful engine, is India's booming services sector. I mean, this isn't just a part of the story. In so many ways, it is the story. And wow, this chart just tells that story perfectly. Look at that widening gap between the blue line, our service exports, and the green line, our service imports. That growing gap, you see it represented by those yellow bars, that's our services trade surplus. It's become this massive growing cushion that helps offset our deficit in goods trade. It's an absolute game changer. So what exactly are we selling to the world? This table breaks it down. The absolute giant in the room is, no surprise, software and ICT services. It makes up nearly half of all our service exports, with the US and the UK being our biggest customers. But look at business services, too. That's another huge chunk. You add those two together, and you're looking at over 70% of our entire service exports. It's incredible. Now, this dominance in software, it isn't some temporary trend. In fact, it's accelerating. And here's a stat to back that up. According to Stanford's AI Index, India's AI skill penetration is 2.5 times the global average. We are second only to the United States. Now, that is not just a number. It's a direct signal that we are perfectly positioned to dominate the next wave of high-value digital services. That's our future competitiveness right there. But you know, this kind of success, it doesn't just happen by accident. It's being supported by a very deliberate, very strategic shift in how India is approaching global trade. You can see a clear flurry of activity in our trade diplomacy. In just 2 years, think about it, we've implemented major agreements with Mauritius, the UAE, and Australia. And on top of that, the ongoing review of our agreement with ASEAN shows we're committed to modernizing and really deepening our existing trade ties. And internally, the policy is changing too. We're moving away from this scattered landscape of just numerous, often overlapping export schemes. The new direction is all about a single, unified framework that is focused squarely on results, on outcomes. This new framework has a name, the Export Promotion Mission, or EPM. Here's a good way to think about it. The old system was like a messy toolbox with dozens of different single-purpose tools. The EPM, on the other hand, is like a modern Swiss Army multi-tool. It's integrated, it's flexible, and it's designed to tackle pretty much any challenge that comes up. And this has a real-world impact for businesses on the ground. For example, exporters now have 15 months, up from just 9, to bring their earnings back into the country. They also have 3 whole years, up from 1, to make shipments against any advance payments they receive. These are practical, common-sense changes that give our businesses the operational breathing room they need to compete on the global stage. Okay, now let's turn to the second pillar propping up our external stability, remittances. We're talking about the funds sent home by Indians working abroad. These act as an absolutely crucial financial buffer for the economy. Now this is one of the most important strategic shifts that we're seeing right now. For decades, the The story was that remittances came from blue-collar workers in the Gulf. Well, that picture is officially outdated. Today, the dominant flow is from advanced economies. And this isn't just a change in geography. It signals a fundamental evolution of the Indian diaspora. We're talking about a high-skill, high-income global workforce. And this chart just visualizes that new reality perfectly. The United States is now the single largest source of remittances to India, contributing nearly 28%. Now, of course, the UAE remains critical, but the combined share of the US, the UK, and Singapore shows you, clear as day, the dominance of these advanced economies in this financial flow. So let's put it all together. This slide shows our two powerful shock absorbers working in tandem. On the right, you have that growing services surplus, which is constantly generating foreign currency. And on the left, you have those massive remittance inflows, the blue bars, providing a steady, reliable stream of external financing. Together, they act as a powerful shield for our economy against global shocks. And this is a point that is really worth hammering home. We talk a lot about foreign direct investment, or FDI, but as this quote from the source material highlights, remittances have consistently been a larger and, importantly, a more dependable source of funding for India's external account. Okay, so bringing all of these different threads together, what are the key strategic takeaways for us? What's the path forward? So the strategic takeaway is this. India's external position is no longer a source of vulnerability. It's becoming a source of emerging strength. And this new resilience, it's not an accident. It's been engineered on two massive pillars, a world-beating services sector and a high-skilled diaspora sending money home. And all of this is being amplified by smarter, more agile trade policies that are actually designed for this new global era. And that leaves us with one final forward-looking question. We've managed to establish a new foundation of stability and strength. So the key challenge, and frankly the opportunity, is what we build on it. With these powerful tailwinds at our back, what should be the next great ambition for India's global economic strategy? That is the critical question for all of us to consider.